Irma, why Florida avoid catastrophe? At the end of last week, Florida was bracing itself for one of the most powerful hurricanes ever recorded in the Atlantic. But this week, it is clear the U.S. state was spared much of the predicted devastation. This is mostly down to the root of the storm, but is also partly because of how much notice the state had to prepare. The storm was a Category 5, the highest possible when it swept over the Caribbean, destroying nearly all the buildings of some island. But when it hit the Florida Keys Island on Sunday, it was down to Category 4, and it continued weakening over other parts of Florida. I didn't see the damage I thought I would see, said the state governor Rick Scott after flying over the Keys to survey damage. A changed route. Irma went further west than expected. Rather than traveling from the Keys straight northward to Miami, it moved west and made landfall at Marco Island. That left people on the west coast having to move fast, but it also gave the hurricane time to weaken before hitting a major population center. Hurricanes are fueled by warm, moist air, which is best gathered out over tropical seas. Traveling over land makes them reduce their strength and speed. However, the state was completely spared. Cities like Jacksonville did suffer flooding, and about 60% of homes across Florida were left without power. Yet the damage did not reach the level predicted, and analysts have cut their estimates of how much the damage would cost to rebuild. Miami storm surge was more, a mere fraction of what it would have been if the storm were further east, a former National Hurricane Center director tweeted. Contrast this with the Caribbean, where dozens of people have died. Officials on the island of St. Martin officials said 6 out of 10 buildings are uninhabitable, while 95 of buildings have been damaged on Barbuda. Well prepared. Hurricane preparation is an annual part of life in Florida, and buildings are generally well built to deal with the winds. As the hurricane was predicted well in advance, people had a week in which to bolt out their house, close the storm shutters, and for most part evacuate as the government recommended. The Caribbean is also hit by hurricanes year on year, and after heavy winds and flooding, the damage will serve. A government architect from Montserrat, Linda Stiles, said in a Facebook post that houses on many Caribbean islands are built to withstand hurricane winds, just not one at the speed Irma reached. Some island residents are angry that government in London, Paris, and Hawaii did not spend half to their overseas territory sooner. A British naval ship has since arrived in the Caribbean, while UK Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson and President of France Emmanuel Macron are on their way to see the damage to themselves. British Defence Secretary Michael Fallon said the UK has responded very quickly and was making an international effort alongside the US, France, and the Netherlands. Those people who left the Florida homes are starting to return to a landscape change but not destroyed. Many homes are without power, and rebuilding homes and business will take time. But as a measure of Miami, Carlos Jimenez said, inconvenience is a great thing versus having your home destroyed and your life significantly altered. It was undoubtedly an epic hurricane. It traveled 3,700 miles, or about 6,000 kilometers, stayed a hurricane for 11 days, and dumped 400 millimeters of rain in some places. It has the fastest Atlantic wind speeds recorded in a decade, but the fact that it lost some of its strength before hitting mainland US is a relief for people in Florida.